Hello, Hathorians, and welcome to Episode 2 of Tech Talks. We're joined by Hathor's co-founder and CTO, Marcelo. How are you doing today?
Oh, hi Neil. I'm doing great. Thanks. And you?
Yeah, great. Thanks for asking. This is our second episode together. As you know, Tech Talks is your platform. It's great to have you here. So yeah, how's things been? You guys have been busy as ever. It's been a busy Q4 and to say the least, a very busy Q1.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, thanks for having me here. It's a pleasure to be here again. I guess the last time I was here was on November last year.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Wow.
it's been a while. So, I mean, it's just like 5 months, but so many things has happened
Yeah,
since our last talk. So I guess we have many things to cover today,
yeah,
and yeah, it's been like those were like very busy periods. They're still
100%.
busy. We're still like preparing to get Nano launched in Mainnet, so lots of things to run, tests and codes,
100%.
and do business with. So lots of fronts happening now. Exactly, we have even more fronts than we had like 6 months ago. Now we have a bridge, we have Snaps integration, we have all sorts of things happening simultaneously. Yeah, but I'm very happy to be that busy. It
Yeah.
seems like it just means that like we are moving fast and we are like delivering the things that we have to deliver. So I'm very happy to be busy.
I'm happy to. I'm sorry to cut you there because you're going to give away some spoilers and we're going to actually dive into some of these things. Yeah,
Oh, okay, of
yeah,
course.
you're absolutely right. It's been since Q4. And yeah, since Q4, we've had the new era launch. You and the team got the bridge live on mainnet, so congratulations for that. But we're going to
Thank
dive
you.
into some of those now. So I'm just going to get stuck in and start asking questions. I've got like roughly 5 questions here today and they all come from the recent evolution blog. So I'm just going to ask you about each section and then we'll go from there really. So my first question to you, Marcelo, is since we last spoke in Q4, the public nano testnet, of course, we know has now concluded. And we just wanted to ask, what have we learned and what are the next steps when it comes to nano contracts?
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, we learned a lot from the Nano testnet, and I'd like to thank everyone that participated in different ways, especially Dozer. They provided lots of feedback. I know that they have like their own community for testing, but I'd like to thank everyone that helped and provided feedback and helped us like understand how the technology is going to be used and what are the requirements actually. So yeah, that's the point. From the Nano testnet so far, we have learned many ways to improve the user experience in the wallets, in the Explorer, and of course, it also made us change things in the full nodes. So basically, all parts involved in the nano contracts were improved with the nano testnet. We got feedbacks about the how users can see information because it's a critical part. We got feedback about how the dApps communicate with the app. So we have like a dApp. The dApp needs to communicate with the wallets and exchange information, and more than that, they need to ask for users to do things so that we could test all this protocol, and then both the dApps and the wallets, they need to communicate with the full nodes so they can access the network to retrieve information and to relay transactions. So all these parts were tested, so it was like a whole integration test, and you learned improvement points in every aspect of it. We also learned some requirements from the builders. So they would like to do things that in the beginning of the testnet were not possible. So we added features to cover things that they needed to do. So one example is that a nano contract in the beginning of the nano testnet, you could not create a token a new token in the network from a nano contract. A nano contract itself could not create a token, but now it can. It was a requirement that was requested by the builders, and we added it. So that's just one example of other many other things that we added. So it was really good to, and also it was really good to communicate with the builders to learn how they think, what they need, what they're doing in other networks, so we can see and adjust so they can do the same thing or even better things in our network.
Yeah, I remember you saying on the last episode that testnet is extremely important because when you want to make these fixes or make changes, it's much easier to do it in a testnet environment than it is to do after mainnet. And from what you said, yeah, like fixes as well as fixes, new features, you know. So yeah, you were about to say?
Mm. It's definitely way easier, and also we are way more relaxed. I'm not saying that it's okay to have bugs in the
Yeah,
testnet, but it's more okay it's than like to have bugs in the mainnet.
yeah,
So yeah, that's something that really helps, and it's like I'd say it's a natural phase during the development process. Of course, we do test ourselves, but there's nothing better than have like real users using the technology, real dApps, real builders using Nano Contracts technology and providing feedback. And also, as they are using, they find issues here and there, and we fix those issues. So yeah, that's the main purpose of the thing. And the testnet, actually, the Nano testnet, it kind of ends in a code freeze. After all the bugs have been fixed, all the issues, all the improvements have been done, we get to the code freeze, and that's when we stop adding things. And that's the code that's going to be, yeah, if we're talking about the next steps, like about the next steps,
yeah,
so the testnet, the nano testnet ends in the code freeze. The network will be there, they'll keep using it, it's okay. But on our release schedule, I'd say that after the code freeze, we will move the code to our public repository. It's been there, but now it's going to be fully merged in our regular code, and then it's going to be deployed in the testnet, and then in the mainnet. But the good part about the code freeze is that after we stop adding features, we can do a more thorough testing, I'd say security testing, and we can get audits. So we're going to do an audit ourselves, like Hathor Labs, and then we're also getting third parties to provide audits and triple check that everything works as expected, there's no flaws, and then it all goes simultaneously, okay? So after the code freeze happens, we're gonna lots of things are gonna like start simultaneously. We're gonna have audits, external audits, our audits, and other kind of tests that we're building, and then we're gonna activate on the testnet,
yeah.
and the audits will be still going on. And after everything is complete, we can activate it in mainnet. That's the plan.
Yeah, before we go on to the next question, so I guess after all the fixes and the improvements, feature improvements, the next stage, as you said, is probably a code freeze. And I remember you telling me in another call that when you said we move into testnet, it's actually a testnet for the whole network environment, right? Like, because now what we've done is we've concluded the nano testnet, we're moving it into the Hathor testnet is actually for the whole network, right? Is that what you meant by a testnet?
Yeah, that's correct.
Yeah,
Now we have two types of testnets.
yeah,
We have Hathor official testnet that
yeah,
does not have nanos,
yeah,
and we have the nano testnet. And after we activate nanos in the testnet, we're going to test other pieces that are going to happen in the mainnet. So the whole activation process is going to be tested, and how it's going to work with the wallets, with the miners, and with everything. Because in the nano testnet, everything has been enabled since it exists, since it was created. But now we have like to transition from a world where nano does not exist to a world where nano exists and is activate, and it's available for anyone to use. So those are other parts that they are already developed, but we
Okay.
have already tested them
Yeah.
internally. But now, moving to the test nets, we're going to test them thoroughly with the dApps, and we're going to ask all the builders to move their codes to their integration to the test net too. And then after everyone gives a green light that everything's working fine, then we can go to mainnet.
Amazing, amazing. Yeah, it's like I remember you saying to me before, it's like a flick of a switch, right? Because you need to put it in that testnet environment. You go from the nano testnet to the testnet to make sure everything works together. Because you can't just, it's almost like I remember you saying it's like a preview screen. Like just before you go live, you preview everything to make sure everything works together. And then you go live. And as you said, touching on the point earlier, we need to make sure everything works well. So audits internally, externally are super important because you could only go on mainnet live once in your life, right? So when you do that, you got to do it properly, right? But
Yeah, that's the point. And the
yeah,
testnet is the only opportunity before mainnet to test the
yeah,
transition, the
the
activate.
transition.
We call it the activation.
Yeah,
It's a feature
yeah,
activation in the network.
yeah,
So that's the only way that we have to test to actually test the activation
yeah.
process.
Amazing.
So that's the most important part
Yeah,
in this process to get to the mainnet.
amazing, amazing. Thank you for summarizing that. Well, that's all exciting. And we'll definitely love to hear more about and we'll definitely be informing the community on next stages on, like you said, the code freeze and then testnet audits and then mainnet. So, guys, we'll keep you guys updated on that. All sounds really good. And Marcelo, we'll move on to the next question. Thank you for deep diving
Okay.
there a bit. And my next question is on MetaMask Snaps. And the question I have here is, once MetaMask Snaps is live, how will it enhance the functionality on Hathor?
Okay, yeah, MetaMask Snaps is like just it's one part of the whole Nano package, I'd say. Even though it's not dependent on Nano, it's part of this business strategy of going towards Web3. So MetaMask Snaps basically is a way for users, because right now users, they must have our wallet installed on their phones. That's what they need, and then they can communicate with the dApp. But they need to install our wallets. So MetaMask Snaps is a way to reduce that friction. MetaMask is like, if I'm not mistaken, it's like the largest wallet in the world, user
Cool.
base wise. So they have like the largest user base.
Yeah,
So automatically they all already have the wallet installed. So we're going to add with the MetaMask Snaps, Hathor MetaMask Snaps, they're going to be able to interact with Hathor dApps from their MetaMask wallets.
amazing.
So we are basically inviting all of them in a very frictionless way to test our technology, to use Hathor, to interact with Hathor, because they don't need to create a wallet, they don't need to install anything. They just need to access the dApps, connect with their MetaMask wallet, and then the Snaps is gonna load automatically, and then they can create transactions in Hathor Network from their wallets. And it goes like a way for us strategically. It's a way to grow our user base,
So
because we are naturally inviting a huge user base, people that already know how Web3 works, what the dApp is. So we get people that they're already there, and we extend to them a way to access our technology in a very seamless way.
yeah, thank you for touching on that. Yeah, I think you answered that very well. My question was, how does it enhance the functionality? And what you basically said is it's inviting in a whole user base of one of the most used wallet within Web3 and DeFi, you know, and us having a MetaMask Snaps integration just allows, it's just one less barrier. Not saying that downloading the wallet is a barrier, but actually someone already having a wallet and being able to interact with dApps is amazing. And it definitely enhances functionality by bringing more users and builders to be aware about Hathor and how they can test and use. Hathor. So
Yeah,
so
and
yeah,
they will be using also a wallet that they're already used to use, so they know how
exactly.
it works.
Yeah,
They know the flows and
yeah.
the all the details of their wallets. So yeah, I guess it's part of this strategic way of growing your
Sure.
network with things that the community already used to use.
Yeah, yeah. Because when it comes to DeFi in general, DeFi and Web3 in general, most of the dApps are used through browsers on wallets like MetaMask and people you who use like the origins from 2018 and prior, like it's MetaMask and Uniswap via browser, and it's dApps doing all of these cool stuff with DeFi on MetaMask. So really excited to see once that goes live. And again, guys, we'll be updating you when we have more updates on MetaMask Snaps integration. So thanks for touching on that, Marcelo.
Yeah, and
Um,
sorry, and just to add
yeah,
that for the users that already have our wallets, they are not out.
yeah,
We have Wallet Connect that they rebranded as Rion,
yeah,
which is the protocol that we've been using to communicate with the apps.
yeah,
So the builders, they're gonna allow multiple types of protocols. They're gonna have a way to communicate with MetaMask Snaps and also to communicate to our wallets directly
yeah,
through Rion or Wallet Connect. So of course their wallets are going to work too. We're just expanding. We're not
yeah.
replacing it.
Expanding is the word. Expanding is the word. Making it more available and more places as possible.
That's
So
right.
that's spot on. Thank you for that, Marcelo. And yeah, moving on to my next question. It's based on the EVM bridge. By the way, congratulations to you and the dev team for bringing this on mainnet. It's great. Q4 we were talking about all the exciting things from the new era, what we want to do, and actually in Q1 we've already done EVM on mainnet. We had a short testnet period. We tested with the community and admins and so on, a lot of the team, and we went live. So congratulations on that. So
Thank you.
now that the EVM bridge is live, Marcelo, how will it increase HTR's liquidity and global accessibility? How will it increase?
Okay. First of all, I'd like to thank also our team, our product
Yeah,
team, our business team, our engineering team. They worked
pleasure.
hard to get like this shipped, and the bridge is like another part
Mhm.
of our strategic change to go
Yeah,
to Web3 because it connects tokens that are available in other EVM networks with
yeah,
our network. And we can the bridge allows us to get tokens from there and make them available in our network, wrap tokens of course, but still that those tokens, and the other way around, tokens created in Hathor Network can be available in other networks too, if it makes sense. So the bridge is very flexible, and it's part of this strategy of bringing. It's like I'd say it's a key component of the Nano package because it will allows people to create liquidity pools and exchange their tokens for instance, stablecoins.
yeah,
So bringing all these very important tokens that people would like to trade against, I'd say most of the time those are stablecoins. They allow token creators and builders and traders to come and use the benefits of the network. So we're going to talk about MAV protection. That's one of the benefits that the network is going to have. It's going to be very, very cheap to use. It's going to be very fast, very safe. So we are providing an environment where all these people can come. And without the bridge, there would be like a missing piece
yeah.
there because they would like to go, but they would trade against what? And stable coins is, at least that's my view, it's one of the most important and one of the largest use cases in Web3 so far because it empowers so many different use cases. And that's the same thing that we are envisioning here. We would like to bring the stablecoins. Actually, we have already done it. Stablecoins are already available in the Hathor network now. So, and I believe that after Nano is available, the activity in the bridge is going to increase considerably because people are going to be like going back and forth, but they're going to be moving their funds to Hathor network so they can trade and buy the tokens that they love.
And you touched on MEV and MEV protection, and that was actually going to be my next question. And it's funny because, not funny, but this week I think in the Web3 community and generally there has been some news about some MEV attacks, and it's actually a great topic to talk about because it's actually the number one thing we want to prevent from happening. These front running transaction manipulations, where I guess this week a user was lost over 200K in a single transaction from.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it's crazy, right? But my question touches on that, and my question is, how does MEV protection feature prevent front running and transaction manipulation? For those that don't know,
Okay, first of all, I'm sorry for that guy that was like
yeah,
robbed. It's a shame all the things that can happen with Mav, even though the name does not show how bad things can get.
yeah,
The MAV, just to give you some context, is like the ability for validators or miners to sort the transactions the way they want so they can order the transactions as they wish. And more than that, they can add transactions and remove transactions as they wish too. So using this mechanism, they can create other transactions that exploits other people's transactions. Many people wouldn't say that they are robbing people, but I'd say they are. And as far as I know, like today is a huge problem because most of the traders they are being tricked. If they are not playing the math game, they are probably just losing money for the math players, for the ones that are doing the math. And math became like something huge, very profitable. There are even protocols that would automate things for math, and validators they get like they're paid to sort transactions in a given order or to choose a given set of transactions in a given order because it would benefit someone else's. So in Hathor, we would like to solve this problem because we would like to offer a very safe and trustworthy environment for traders. So when you place your transaction, you know that that transaction is going to do the best it can without being tricked with front running, basically transactions putting in front of your transaction. So just to give you like an example,
yeah,
let's say that you are buying something, you're buying a token, and you place a big order, a big buy order. If I buy before you, you're going to buy for a higher price. That's what front running does. And in a sandwich structure, I can place a transaction where I buy and then you buy for a higher price, and then I can sell you and profit out of a transaction. That's how what they call the sandwich attack. We can have like a whole tech talk just about this topic. It's huge. We have like lots of information inside. We've done simulations. We've done because we need to understand the problem in order to fix the problem. So basically, in our network, we're going to have a MAV protection mechanism where miners will not, or validators, they're not be able to sort transactions. They cannot add transactions and they cannot remove transactions. So we drastically reduce the degrees of freedom of what they can do. And with this, your transaction, I guess we provide a fair or a fairer environment for traders and for builders because they don't have to worry about the math game.
yeah,
The people that are playing the math, doing math, and actually profiting out of them. I'd say that today, I don't know, maybe it's a bit aggressive, but I'd say that traders that are not doing math, they are kind of the greatest fool. They are being robbed, and probably many of them they just don't know it.
yeah.
Maybe some of them they know, but it's possible that some of them they just don't know. They simply say, "Oh, it was profitable before. Now I can't profit anymore. What's wrong?" And what changed is the math environment. So we're bringing a solution to this problem. That's the goal. Yeah, I guess
I
that's
think
it.
I think it's a super important topic when it comes to adoption in general. We can talk about the industry moving forward and like governments wanting to embrace currencies and so on for strategic reserves, whatever it may be. But if someone can't simply transact without without having to, like no one should have to worry about a front running attack, or even me, if I didn't study about it, I would have been fully unaware, So it's great to see that at Hathor we're trying to make a fairer environment, as you say. That's the decentralized nature, a fairer environment, like our old ethos, and our ethos that remains blockchain made easy is just like it's just supposed to be for anyone to be able to plug and play, jump in. We've educated people to the extent of sandboxes in Brazil when governments using all of this intricate stuff, but it's been done in an easy, fair environment because our technology allows it to be easy and fair because of loads of aspects that you and the team have put together, especially from your thesis of, you know, merge mining, the DAG and blockchain and Python, all of these things, and with Mev front running protection added, they all kind of sync together and make a really fair and clear environment. And I believe that's where adoption will happen when environments become a trustful environment where you can actually go in and say, actually, I'm going to buy tokens and I'm going to swap them and I'm going to get involved in Web3. And this would be the true transition from Web2 to Web3 when people can do it without having to worry about it.
Yeah, that's a very good way to summarize it. So like blockchain made easy. That's what we're aiming for. So we'd like to provide an environment where people they can do things without being experts and without being tricked by other experts. So if you're an expert in trading, today you need to be an expert on blockchain. If you are not, you're being tricked by Mav. In Hathor Network, we're offering a place where you can be expert on your own area, and you don't need to understand all the details about blockchains because there are so many protections that you're not being tricked. So you can do your business in a more safe environment, I'd say.
Safe environment, absolutely. Guys, don't get tricked by Mev. We'll be looking forward to bringing some more updates as and when updates come from the team on Mev protection. So thanks for really going into that, Marcelo. And actually, we should plan a deep dive on Mev protection. I'd love to kind of talk about that on another episode. So we'll take that offline and discuss how we can do that for future.
Okay.
And I'll move on to our last question, which is based on like fee structures and covers quite a few things like blueprints on chain and so on. But the question I have is, what different fee models are being tested before the Nano Contracts mainnet launch?
Okay. I wouldn't say, yeah, those are fee models. So we are testing. There are different ideas going there. I'd say that the usual fee model is like to charge for a gas-like system, just like Ethereum and many others do. But there are like other networks like Solana doing flat fees. But fees, they play different roles in different networks. So they can be used to prevent spam. They can be used to prevent abuse. Spam is just one form of abuse. There are others. They can be used to prevent DOS attacks or or as a mechanism for flow control. So if there are too many people using, things gets more expensive. So less people are would like to use to pay for those things. Those are like the way that networks usually use fees. And we've been discussing what's the best strategy for us, and we've been testing different ways of doing this. So far, I guess the flat fee model has been very successful in our discussions and our testings because we don't need fees to provide a flow control mechanism. The network is capable of processing enough transactions per second, and the whole way that the network operates, its scalability has been something big for us since the very beginning. So we can scale well. So we don't depend on fees to do this job. So the fees in our case has a different role. The other networks have it too. It's like to provide utility for the HR token. So when people use the network, they are indirectly paying for all other people who are keeping the network alive and running the network. That's the main purpose of this. And the flat fee can provide a very, very nice environment for this. When we talk about fees, in our case, we have one distinction from other networks because we're going to have some built-in blueprints and some what we call OCB or on-chain blueprints. So how do they differ? The, the built-in blueprints are blueprints that have been reviewed by us. They are in the code. They cannot be changed. And most importantly, they are very efficient. So we can use one kind of fee structure for these blueprints because we know that they're not gonna use all the resources available. They're not gonna use too many processing. They're not gonna use too much memory, or too much storage. So because we reviewed this code. The on-chain blueprints are codes that anyone can send to the network. So on one way, it supports the builder community, which is really important. That's something that we learned from the Nano testnet. To allow them to send their own blueprints, it's like one critical piece for them to innovate. Even though the Pareto law, that's our initial idea, it still works. Our idea is that developers are going to build their own blueprints, they're going to send to the network, and then we're going to get the ones that are most used and transform them into built-in blueprints. But yeah, getting back to your question, with OCBs, we need to have some protection. So we're discussing about different fee models for each of those. So whenever an on-chain blueprint gets big, we can simply turn it into a built-in blueprint and drastically reduce fees.
Yeah.
So it gets very cheap to operate on those blueprints because we know that they're efficient. The key word here is being efficient in the use of memory, CPU, and storage. And we know that all built-in blueprints, they are very efficient. So, and another key part of the fee structures is the royalty program. So we are discussing ways to pay back blueprint developers. So let's say that you are a developer and you create one blueprint. When you send the blueprint to the network and other people start using it, other people start using your blueprint, the blueprint that you created, they are part of their fees are gonna be redirected to you. So it's a way to monetize the builder community. It's something that we still have some points to discuss, some points to cover, but we think it might be really big because it would. Today, if you create a smart contract somewhere, people can simply use it and you're not paid for that. So we are looking for ways to remunerate the builder that's building something interesting. It's just like a marketplace.
Yeah.
So you can place your blueprint there in our network, and whenever it's used by someone, you get paid for the work that you've done. So yeah, I guess those are the fronts that are going on the fee part. And that's something that we can change in the future too. So even after the launching Mainnet, it's not something right in stone, something that is immutable. We can always change to adapt to the new realities that we're learning. But yeah, right now those are the things that are happening on the fee side, on the fee end.
Yeah, I think it was very interesting what you said because it's you on-chain blueprints to blueprint built-in blueprints. Fees with scalability are adapted for efficiency and so on. And like you said, even post mainnet, things can be changed. So it's good to see that. I just picture a marketplace and people using blueprints, and it would interest me, not being in Web3, to know that maybe I will delve in and build something and access a network that has a plug and play smart contract that I can make money from. Like this is the bigger picture, right? So it's exciting to see it come to fruition, and looking forward to to seeing the fee structures and Nano Contracts mainnet go live and more use cases. But everything we've spoken about today, even MetaMask and integration, is just all painting an amazing picture, of the real new era and entering to Web3 and more users knowing about Hathor, using it on in different capacities and bringing new innovative ideas to the network. So yeah, amazing.
Yeah, and this incentive scheme, it's always been a key part of every blockchain.
Mhm.
Because before blockchains, decentralized networks were already there. We had torrents, we had other types of decentralized
Yeah,
networks.
true.
What changes in blockchains is that you have like incentives or monetary incentives to play fair or to be part of the network or to keep the network alive. And the incentives are provided by the network itself. And it's been working very successfully since Bitcoin did it in 2009. But now we are looking for ways to incentivize the builders. That's something that's not there yet. There are some networks trying one other thing, and we are doing research on it. But we think it's fair to remunerate the builders. And if when it's done, when we find a way to remunerate for a roads program to work very effectively, I guess it's going to drive our growth a lot
Yeah,
because
definitely.
incentives will be there. So if you are going to develop something, you can do it for free somewhere else, or you can be paid to do it in the network,
Yeah,
or not to do it, but for use on
yeah,
demand. So you can be paid for the value that you deliver to the network, which is, I guess, it can be something big. And I
yeah,
say I guess because no network offers this today.
yeah.
So we have to learn. But I assume, I think that it's going to be something really big.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. And it's simple. You incentivize the builder incentivizes the user. They find a way to say, I'm being incentivized here. Now I need to create something innovative to incentivize the user, and it's just creating that opportunity for to monetize in a very easy and free environment. Like I could know nothing about Solidity or any of these intricate smart contracts, but I could use this plug and play smart contract that can monetize and actually get a few people together or brainstorm with I could be in college, or I could be as a side hustle in my evenings after my day job, and really implement a use case quite easily. And as a builder or as someone who has an idea, it'll be very very easy on Hathor in the near future.
Yeah,
Amazing.
that's it. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So look, Marcelo, those are my questions I have today. It's been great having you on, and like I said a few moments ago, we'll definitely separate this type of content because you've given us some really good updates today, but also to do a deep dive on a specific topic on another episode. So I'd love to go through that with you soon. We'll discuss that soon. Before we part ways, is there anything that you'd like to share with the community or any final words on what's happening?
Yeah, I like to first of all say thanks for everyone that's been there, supporting, helping, and being part of the community. Especially those who are helping us to test the
Yeah,
things that we're building. There are different ways of testing. I know you guys have different activities that they can do, but you're very welcome to join and help us there. After all, it's an open protocol. Hathor is not supposed to be a private thing, like belonging to a corporate. It's something to be public and to be used. So we are building this, but we can build it together with the community and everyone. So yeah, I'd like to thank everyone who's been there helping us to build this and discuss the important things and help us test, find issues, fix issues, and so on. And as part of this process of building things, we announced yesterday, if I'm not mistaken, yesterday, a hackathon. So we're inviting builders to put their ideas in place. Actually, it's a nano contract hackathon. So I'd like to invite them to reinforce, okay, please come and test, build your contracts using Nano Contracts technology, see how easy it is to build your contracts, how easy it is to test and to deploy it in the network, and help us understand if you have like any questions or any problems. We can go. We're going to have our team there helping everyone that's being part of the hackathon, that's attending the hackathon, and we will learn from the questions and things that you have to make it even easier. That's our goal, to provide a safe and easy to use blockchain for everyone, including the builders.
I think builders, guys, if you have gone to the Hacker Earth hackathon, there the docs are there, and the docs, as Marcelo said, it covers everything you need to know when it comes to blueprints and everything like that. And just touching on the previous section, which was on fee structures, you may decide to build something innovative and new, and then you come to find out that you can monetize from this. Guys, now is the opportunity, you know. So now is the time. It's never been a better time to get into this space. So yeah, I think we're going to wrap it up there, Marcelo. But thank you for your kind words and taking your time out your busy schedule. It's been a great Q4 and Q1 so far. We've done a lot really, and there's a lot more to come. So really looking forward to bringing a lot of those things to light. But until the next episode, we'll see you on the next one, Marcelo, on another topic. And the
Thank you.
community will be updating you guys soon on a lot of the things that we've discussed today. And we'll see you on the next one.
Thank you so much, Neil. Have a good one. Bye,
Cheers.
everyone.
Bye.